Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triple Department, working in ISL Engineering College. I am taking the subject High Voltage DC Transmission for Triple Final Year students. Previous class, I have discussed about the introduction part of multi-terminal DC systems, the applications of MTDC systems, types of MTDC systems, and comparison of series and parallel MTDC systems. Today's class I am going to tell about control and protection of MTDC systems, and with this topic students we will finish the 5th unit of HVDC transmission subject. So tomorrow you are having mid exams tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So before that I am going to finish the 5th unit of HVDC transmission subject. HVDC transmission systems designed and operated so far are point-to-point systems with two terminals. A multi-terminal DC system, that is MTDC system, has more than two converter stations. Some of them operating as rectifiers and some of them are operating as inverters. The simplest way of building a MTDC system from an existing two-terminal system is to introduce tappings. Parallel operation of converters and bipoles can also be viewed as multi-terminal operation. Unlike in AC systems, the task of extending two-terminal systems to multi-terminal systems is not trivial. The complexities of control and protection increase considerably, and the use of HVDC breakers is generally required in the MTDC systems. In recent times, with growth in HVDC transmission, there could be more than one converter in proximity feeding same load area. The operational issues of such multi-terminal in-feed DC systems, that is MIDC systems, are similar to those of MTDC systems. Hence, MIDC systems are also we are going to discuss in this class. With recent advances in the emerging technology of VSC HVDC transmission, application of MTDC systems is becoming more attractive than before. So let us see the applications of MTDC systems. So basically there are three applications of MTDC system. Let us see first one. Bulk power transmission from several remote generating stations to several load centers. So each generating plant is connected directly to a rectifier station, thereby dispensing with the AC collector system. Similarly, a converter station at each load center eliminates the need to build additional AC or DC lines for flexible energy exchange. Second is asynchronous interconnection between adjacent power systems. The advantage of asynchronous interconnection we have already seen. When more than two systems are involved, MTDC system for interconnection is more flexible and economical than employing several two-terminal DC links. Third one is reinforcing of an AC network which is heavily loaded. Let us consider an urban power system which is fed by a distance power station. It would be advantageous to arrange the power injection at more than one point so that the underlying AC network is not overloaded. This is easily achieved using a MTDC system with one rectifier station and several inverter stations. So we have seen about various types of MTDC systems. That is, there are basically two types of MTDC systems, series and parallel. Parallel MTDC systems are further subdivided into two categories, that is radial and mesh. So we have seen in detail about series and parallel MTDC systems. Series system is a natural extension of the two-terminal system, which is a series connected system. A three-terminal MTDC system has a monopolar arrangement. However, homopolar arrangement with two conductors is also possible. System is grounded at only one point, which may be conveniently chosen. If the line insulation is adequate, the grounding point can be shifted based on chances in the operating conditions. Grounding capacitors may also be used to improve insulation coordination and system performance during transients. Let us see about parallel MTDC system. Here, operating philosophy of constant voltage AC system is extended to DC systems. Currents in all the converter stations except one are adjusted according to the power requirement. One of the terminal will operate as a voltage setting terminal at constant angle of voltage. A radial system is one in which the disconnection of one segment of transmission would result in interconnection of power from one or more converter stations. Whereas in a mesh system, removal of one link would not result in a disruption, provided the remaining links are capable of carrying the required power. So we have seen next point is the comparison of series and parallel MTDC system, where we have seen the various advantages and disadvantages of series and parallel MTDC systems. So let us see few advantages and disadvantages of series and parallel MTDC systems. So high speed reversal of power is possible in series systems without mechanical switching, and this is not possible in parallel systems. Valve voltage rating in a series system is related to the power rating, while the current rating in a parallel connected system is related to power. This would imply that for small power ratings of the tap, series connection may be cheaper even though valves have to be insulated for full voltage to ground. Parallel connection has the advantage of stage development in the converter stations by adding parallel converters as the power requirements increase. There are increased losses in the line and valves in series systems in comparison to parallel systems. The system operation in series systems can be optimized by operating the largest inverter at rated voltage. Insulation coordination is a problem in series systems as the voltage along the line varies. Permanent fault in a line section would lead to complete shutdown in a series connected system, while it would lead to only the shutdown of converter station in a radial MTDC system. Reduction in AC voltages and commutation failures in an inverter can lead to overloading of converters as current is transferred from other terminals in a parallel system. Control and protection philosophy in a series MTDC system is a natural extension of that in a two-terminal system. However, extension to parallel systems is not straightforward. So let us start today's class of control and protection of MTDC systems. There are several methods of control in MTDC systems. Only parallel MTDC systems are considered as these involve complexities in extending the existing control methods. Various methods are as follows. Let us see the first one, current margin method. This is most widely considered as a natural extension of current control philosophy in a two-terminal system. One of the converter station which is operating at the angle limit minimum alpha or minimum gamma determines DC voltage dependent on the AC voltage and the tap ratio. Remaining terminals operate as current controlling terminals. Current through the voltage setting terminals, say N, is given as In is equal to minus of summation j equal to 1 to n minus 1 Ij, where N is the number of terminals. In the above equation, inverter currents are treated as negative while the rectifier currents are treated as positive. The current controlling terminals operate with a voltage margin which may become 0 or negative during disturbances in the AC system. As even small disturbances can affect the voltage margin, it is necessary to maintain the current and power distribution in the system with minor changes during the disturbances. And this is possible if current control is provided at the voltage setting terminal such that it tries to maintain the same current as before. Because of measurement errors and the requirements of a smooth transition from angle control to current control, current reference at the voltage setting terminal VST is chosen to satisfy the following equation. What is that equation? Summation j minus 1 to n Ij reference is equal to I margin, where I margin is positive quantity. Converter with lowest voltage ceiling always acts as a voltage setting terminal. Changes in the voltage setting terminal due to disturbances in the AC system are called as mode shifts. Uncontrolled mode shifts can be minimized by selecting a terminal with higher short circuit ratio as a voltage setting terminal. Due to the negative resistance characteristics of the constant extinction angle control, it would be advisable to choose a rectifier terminal as VST. Magnitude of current margin is critical as converters of lower ratings can be overloaded when operating at angle limit. Central controller that regulates the current orders at all the converter stations is termed as current reference balancer CRB. It is as shown in the figure. Here, the current orders calculated from local power controllers are adjusted in order to satisfy the equation. This equation. That is summation j minus 1 to n ij reference is equal to I margin. The limits on the current orders are taken into account in balancing current references. Actual implementation of CRB can be performed by using microprocessors. Satisfactory operation of MTDC systems requires a reliable central CRB that operates at all times. This requires reliable two-way communication between a central station and each converter station. If there is loss of a station and this information is not communicated, the system operation is adversely affected. In case of loss of a rectifier station, power transfer is interrupted by voltage collapse. In case of loss of an inverter station, other station will be overloaded. In the current margin method, change in the voltage setting terminal requires the operation of the tap changer in converter transformer to modify the voltage margin. This can be slow and results in less flexible control to deal with mode shifts. An improvement has been suggested by using a modified control scheme termed as voltage margin control method. In this method, all converter stations will be provided with automatic voltage regulators AVR along with automatic current regulators ACR. In the voltage setting terminal, AVR reference voltage is set to the rated voltage and in other stations, AVR reference voltage is set higher by an amount delta E. Operation of this control technique is illustrated in figure as shown below. This is operation with voltage margin control method. VST is equal to INV1 and second one is showing VST is equal to REC1. INV is referring here inverter, REC is nothing but rectifier. So operation of this control technique is shown in this figure which represents control characteristics for an MTDC system with two rectifiers and two inverters. When the voltage setting terminal is shifted from INV2 to REC1, voltage margin delta E is added to the reference value at INV2 and subtracted from REC1. Voltage margin control method is also not free from the requirements of the centralized control and fast communication. In order to facilitate the operation of MTDC systems, even when there is failure of communication system, following modifications to the basic current margin method of control have been suggested. First one is voltage limiting control. Second one is use of decentralized current reference balancer, DCRB. Third one is 2ACR method, that is automatic current regulator method. Let us see the first one, voltage limiting control. In the voltage limiting control method, rectifier and inverter characteristics are arranged as shown in the figure. Loss of a rectifier station does not have any significant effect on the system operation even in the absence of communication failure. Inverter currents are reduced in order to prevent voltage collapse. Also, the loss of an inverter station operating on current control would not overload the voltage controlling inverter because of its voltage reverse. Drawbacks of this scheme is that disturbance in the AC system connected to an inverter station can result in other inverters getting unloaded, and this will cause adverse effect on the AC system supplied by healthy inverter stations. Second one will be two or more terminals can operate in the voltage controlling mode forcibly in the case of loss of terminal resulting in indeterminate distribution of currents in those terminals. Third one is currents during DC line fault or communication failure are likely to be higher without additional measures. Let's see the second one, use of decentralized current reference balancer DCRB. This method is similar to the one which is described by Forrest et al. Without CRB and which will operate on the current and voltage characteristics. DCRB is designed to allow rapid recovery of MTDC system operation following several severe disturbances which require a momentary rundown of the DC system. The DCRB is supposed to permit the system recovery without coordinated centralized control of converters and even if one or more of the terminals is removed from service due to the disturbance. Operation of the DCRB is illustrated with the help of a 3-terminal system with 2 rectifiers and 1 inverter. In case of loss of one rectifier station, characteristics of the remaining 2 converter stations do not intersect. The object of the DCRB is to adjust the converter control characteristics around a pre-selected voltage level V0 in the manner which is indicated as shown in the figure. The slopes of the balancing characteristics sigma R and sigma I determine the relative adjustments that must be made to the current orders. In DCRB, minimum and maximum current limits will be pre-selected. The intersection of the balancing characteristic determine steady state operation of the converters following a disturbance. The normal post disturbance characteristics are also shown in this figure by solid lines. The current order required for this is locally determined by the balanced current and the specified current margin. In case of a rectifier, fraction of the current margin would be added to the balanced current, while in the case of an inverter, fraction of the margin would be subtracted. Slopes of the balancing characteristics along with voltage level V0 are chosen based on the considerations of voltage limits and magnitude of the variations in the DC network voltages during the balancing period. Simulator studies have been carried out to demonstrate the functioning of DCRB, and it is claimed that this technique is quite satisfactory in rapid restarting of the system with communication failure. Let us see the next method. It is 2ACR method. It is automatic current regulator method. In this method, each converter is provided with 2 automatic current regulators and 1 voltage regulator. The rectifier and inverter control characteristics is shown in the figure. During the normal mode of operation, the rectifier station with the lowest voltage reference or the inverter station with highest voltage reference acts as voltage setting terminal. Remaining converter stations operate under the control of ACR1. I reference 1 of the voltage setting terminal is set larger than the operating current by the current margin. The ACR2 operates during a contingency and its order can be fixed at the minimum operating current of the inverter. Without additional measures, inverter may be not able to recover from a commutation failure. Voltage dependent current order limit, that is VDCOL, is introduced to overcome this problem. Operation of a 4-terminal system both during normal conditions and when one of the converter stations is shut down is shown in the figure. So in this figure we can see operating point with all terminals, operating point without REC1, okay, then operating point without REC2, operating point without inverter 1 and operating point without inverter 2. Okay, 5 operating conditions are shown here. First one is operating under normal conditions. Second one is operating point without RAC1. Third is operating point without RAC2. Fourth is operating point without inverter 1. Fifth is operating point without inverter 2. Rectifier with the highest voltage order and inverter with lowest voltage order are always controlled by ACR1, thus resulting in small power deviations during a disturbance. This can be utilized to prevent shutdown of a base station or prevent interruption of supply to a critical AC system. 2 ACR method permits the use of DC circuit breakers to isolate a line fault or converter fault without coordination with control. System operation following a disturbance is optimized by modifying the current orders from central controller. Implementation of the controller is discussed in some detail using control block diagrams. Performance of this control technique has been studied using digital dynamic simulation and HVDC simulator. Protection of MTDC systems. One of the issues under discussion regarding MTDC system operation is evaluation of protection requirements and coordination with control. The system can be shut down following a fault in DC line or converter station and the faulted component isolated using high-speed disconnect switches, and this system can be restarted after adequate time for deionization of the arc path. System reliability consideration dictate the need for fast clearing of fault with minimum disturbance to the healthy parts of the system. DC breaker ratings can be minimized by utilizing the intervention of fast current controls in reducing the magnitude of the fault currents. The detection of DC line faults get complicated in a mesh system. Major problem is the largest drop in the DC voltage even for distance faults. This requires fast detection and clearing of faults to maintain power transfers. Differential type of protection or directional sensitive measurements of the currents can be used to locate the fault. Communication would be required in both the methods. DC switches would be required primarily for parallel MDDC systems and particularly in mesh systems to utilize the improved security provided by such configurations. Let us see the study of MDDC systems. The planning, design and operation of MDDC systems require detailed study using simulation tools. New control and protection concepts have been formulated using HVDC simulators. Performance of the controllers are judged not only under normal conditions with changing load conditions but also under disturbances caused by faults in the AC system and DC lines. Some of the typical problems that have been considered for study are as follows. First one is operation of small inverter taps connected to weak AC systems. Second is integration of existing HVDC converter stations in MTDC systems without major modifications in control. Third is evaluation of communication, reactive power and filtering requirements. Fourth is security of power transfer without fast communication links. Fifth is power and reactive power modulation strategies in MTDC systems. Some of the conclusions from studies carried out indicate the type of problems that can be anticipated in the operation of MTDC systems connected to weak AC systems. Let us see the first one. Large smoothing reactor may be required to help in the recovery of a small inverter from AC faults. Second one will be the speed of recovery of the entire MTDC system depends upon the recovery of the small tap if it is still connected to the system following clearance of a fault. Third is, it is necessary to consider the effect of mode shifts and develop additional protection sequences, particularly for faults in DC line. Fourth is, provision of VDCOL at each rectifier is beneficial and its characteristics have to be adjusted suitably. With a good knowledge of HVDC controls and their accurate modeling, HVDC simulators can be used to analyze problems and search for solutions. For example, during the test for parallel operation of two bipoles in the Nelson River HVDC transmission system in Manipota, Canada in 1985, it was observed that there was a current oscillation of 6 Hz in the two inverters, although the current in the two rectifiers was steady. VDID characteristics for rectifiers and inverters is shown in these figures A and B. Operating voltage is also shown here, which indicates that the inverter 2 operates in the mode of current error dependent gamma control mode. In simulating the system using EMTDC program with a generic modeling of the controls, it was not possible to identify the source of the problem. However, from the knowledge of the actual VAS group controller, it was possible to identify the source of the problem to a particular K by 1 plus ST type delay block in the actual controller. By decreasing the time constant T from 22 milliseconds to 3 milliseconds, it was possible to eliminate the current oscillation problem in the real system. Incidentally, the digital program also allows one to experiment and determine how the oscillations are initiated from a stable operating point. In this case, changing the taps ratios from the set point initiated the low frequency current oscillations. HVDC simulator study of a 4-terminal MDDC system indicated the possibility of adverse interaction between the control and DC network dynamics. This can result in multiple mode shifts in rectifiers following a remote 3-phase fault at a rectifier. Communication failure at the small inverter results in the total DC current diverted into the faulted inverter due to voltage drop in the inverter caused by communication failure. The transient current is even higher due to the discharge of line capacitances. Peak current can be limited partly by the use of higher smoothing reactor. However, it is difficult for the inverter to recover even when the AC system is strong. System recovery is made possible by initiating force retard on the rectifiers, increasing alpha to values above 90 degrees, say for example 145 degrees, as done in case of DC line faults in a two-terminal system. FR can be initiated without telecommunications since the collapse of the DC voltage at the rectifier can be used as signals for the protective action. After a predetermined time, converter firing angles are returned to their normal values at a controlled speed. However, there is still a danger of a subsequent communication failure at the small inverter due to current overshoots. Characteristics of VDCOL at the inverter have to be carefully chosen to avoid this problem. Multi-feed AC systems. Although multi-terminal DC systems are not yet common, it is possible that more than one HVDC link feeds into the same load area. Attempt was made to answer the question of possible limits of HVDC power supplied to an AC system. The author identified two major issues that can affect the limits. First one is current harmonics injected by converter and second is compensation of reactive power. First issue is closely connected with the generation of non-characteristic harmonics and the possibility of harmonic instability. So according to this, mainly dependent on the frequency dependence of the AC system, impedance viewed from the converter terminals and not necessarily dependent on the short circuit ratio SCR. Harmonic instability can occur even at the higher SCR. Incidentally, there was also a belief earlier that problem of harmonic instability was completely solved after the development of equidistance pulse control EPC scheme of firing pulse generation. However, this assumption is also not valid. There could be adverse harmonic interactions even with EPC. Second issue of reactive power compensation is related to the problem of voltage instability and voltage flicker caused by switching a filter or capacitor bank. This is primarily dependent on the SCR and the problem can be aggravated at low SCR. There is also the problem of overvoltages caused by load rejection which can be tackled by applying SVC or STATCOM for reactive power compensation. The interaction between two HVDC converters that may belong to two different HVDC links can be ignored if the impedance Z12 is large compared to Z1 or Z2. Thus, in large network with several embedded DC links, DC control design can be made based exclusively on SCR at the AC connection point without considering other DC links if the transfer impedances between the communication busbars are high. Control strategies at rectifier and inverter have a bearing on the voltage stability of the system. Current control rather than power control at the rectifier improves matters, while constant DC voltage control at the inverter is much better than constant extinction angle control. Interactions among inverters in close proximity requires coordinated design of controllers. Voltage distortions caused by persistent communication failures in one inverter also will affect the other inverter. VDCOL characteristics of one inverter that decide the speed of recovery following DC faults can affect the voltage at the inverter. Control and protection in MTDC systems must be carefully designed to avoid adverse interactions. VTB link interconnecting two asynchronous AC systems can introduce low frequency current oscillations in a nearby rectifier. MTDC systems using voltage source converters. VSC based HVDC transmission is ideally suited for multi-terminal operation due to the following advantages. Power reversal in a converter is achieved by current reversal, which is easily arranged by control action without having to use mechanical switches to reverse the polarity of the converter connections to the conductor in a parallel MTDC system. In line commutated converters, power reversal requires voltage reversal, and this implies that the converter has to be connected to the conductor of the opposite polarity. Second advantage is that there is no problem of commutation failures in an inverter based on VSC. A VSC based inverter can even supply passive loads. Third one is use of pulse width modulation PWM eliminates low frequency harmonics and simple AC filters can be supplied. Fourth point, there is no need for reactive power compensation of VSC. Actually, a VSC can supply reactive power and can help in the control of the AC voltage. However, it is to be noted that harmonic interactions can occur in VSC also, and the choice of the circuit parameters and control design must consider this problem. However, the problem is likely to be less complicated compared to LCC. One of the drawbacks with VSC is the problem of handling DC faults. Since DC capacitors can discharge into the fault, protection must disconnect the converter from the line or block the firing pulses to the converter and trip the converter. In case of LCC rectifier, action of force retard can help in clearing the fault by deionization of the fault arc. This difference in the action of LCC and VSC rectifiers has prompted the application of hybrid MTDC schemes with LCC rectifiers and VSC inverters. Of course, when a terminal has to operate in either of the two, that is either rectifier or inverter mode, obviously VSC is the choice. In case of cable transmission, probability of DC faults is less, although any cable fault can be non-self-healing. In urban areas, increasing demand of power is generally met by importing from distance generators. Applications of DC transmission has the advantage of not contributing to short circuit levels. Thus, introduction of MTDC system based on VSC in urban areas is quite attractive. Let us see the summary of what we have studied about MTDC systems. So, although the concept of MTDC systems has been discussed for a long time, implementation has been very limited. The complexities in control and protection have deterred many utilities from experimenting with MTDC system operation. Introduction of MTDC systems requires extensive R&D activities to solve the problems associated with MTDC systems. So meanwhile, it has been recognized that MTDC systems have similarities with MIDC systems in terms of operational issues. It is anticipated that emerging technology of VSC HVDC transmission can help solve many of the problems and encourage utilities to introduce MTDC systems. Thanks for watching the video. So, thank you students for watching the video. With this, we have finished the syllabus of HVDC transmission system subject. So, the textbook which I am referring for this subject is HVDC Power Transmission System Second Revised Edition by K.R. Padiyar. So, in this book, all 5 units are covered, students. If you don't find any topic, do let me know. So, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are having the second mid exams, and after that, students, tomorrow is by tomorrow you have to submit the you have to finish writing the records of power systems lab. All 8 experiments you have to write in the record. And regarding the project, as I am a project coordinator, I would like that all the students should complete their documentation work. Paper publishing is done by all the students. Okay. Congratulations that everyone have published the paper. But documents should also be made ready, students, because your Viva can be at soon anytime. Okay, thanks for watching the video. All the students should write their hall ticket number in the comment section. If you have any doubts in all the 5 units, you can ask me anytime. Thank you, students, for watching the video. Thank you, everyone.